It sounds strange, but we're flying south to Iceland. Our first look at the rugged northeast coast of Iceland. There are glaciers, but not nearly like Svalbard. And the coastline is dotted with towns. We're on the ground at Keflavik International Airport. On average, 1.1 million tourists visit Iceland each year. That's 3 times the population. First stop is lunch. We have a few minutes to explore the harbor. Historically, Iceland's economy depended heavily on fishing. Today it provides 40% of the export earnings and employs 7% of the population. On the way to Reykjavik, we pass Keflavik town. This picturesque farm compound is now a cultural center. The landscape is dotted with rocky lava flows, with a background of snow-covered mountains. The cities have a clean Northern European feel. The architecture is Nordic modern, with spare Lutheran country churches. The Pearl is a Reykjavik landmark. It's on a hill with a commanding view of the city. The Hallgrímskirkja is the largest church in Iceland. Freeways are not something I expected. We're visiting Árbæjarsafn. It's a collection of buildings which have been moved to this old farmstead. We start at this turf-roofed church from the north of Iceland. We meet our first Icelandic horses. Their ancestors came here with the Vikings in the 9th and 10th centuries. The houses are filled with period furnishings. It looks like the owners just stepped away. We happen on the docents in costume, having lunch. Some of the buildings are workshops. There's a blacksmithy and a fisherman's shed. The bus drops us off at Hallgrímskirkja. The spire is 244 feet tall. Construction began in 1945 and wasn't completed until 1986. The huge pipe organ has 5,275 pipes and weighs 25 tons. In front of the church is a statue of Leif Erikson, the Icelander who discovered America 500 years before Columbus. It was a gift from the United States in honor of the 1000th anniversary of Iceland's parliament in 1930. We're walking to our hotel through a pedestrian shopping street. We meet some of the friendly natives. We find our hotel, an Art Deco gem from the 30s. But before we have time to settle in, it's dinner time. We're at the harbor to take a boat to Vithi House on an island in the Kollafjord. We pass Harpa, the new concert hall and conference center. Vithi House was completed in 1755. It was the first stone building in Iceland. We'll be enjoying a gourmet dinner upstairs with entertainment by Sigurður Þorlákius. In the morning, we're going to explore the countryside. The big 4x4 vans make us wonder how far out in the countryside we're going to be exploring. Our guide points out some important buildings. This is the offices of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Ministers. And this is Hofthi House, where the 1996 Reykjavik summit between Reagan and Gorbachev was held. Now we're getting out into the country. This is Þingvellir the largest natural lake in Iceland. We're getting closer to those mountains we've been seeing. We're in Þingvellir National Park. It has historical, cultural, and natural significance. First, it's a rift valley where the North American tectonic plate meets the Eurasian plate. So there's lots of earthquakes today and volcanic activity in the past. All this makes for some interesting rock formations. Wildflowers and birds are attracted to the shelter of the cliffs. Historically, the Icelandic Parliament was established here in 930 and remained here until 1798. This site was accessible from all parts of Iceland and provided space and water for a large gathering. This assembly, or Althing, was Iceland's supreme legislative and judicial authority until 1271. Þingvellir was the center of Icelandic culture. Every year, people would gather here from all over the country. This laid the foundation for the language and literature that are so important to Icelanders today. We're on the Golden Circle, a route that will take us to the three biggest tourist attractions. Our next stop is Gullfoss, or Golden Falls. The water falls first 33 feet and then another 63 feet. The last of our three stops is Geysir, which is a geyser, one of the few English words borrowed from Icelandic. The whole area is a hot spot with bubbling hot springs and small geysers. We've seen and heard a lot this morning. It's time for lunch at the Hotel Geysir. Our driver says he knows a shortcut back to Reykjavik. He didn't tell us it involves driving up a stream bed to the top of a cinder cone.
We pick out good fishes that are on the grill at the car and have a feast afterwards.
That's one way to bring home dinner.
Or sushi.
That's where we came from. I hope he knows a way down. We get back to the hotel, shaken but not bruised. We use the rest of the afternoon to walk around the city, looking for pictures to take. This is the Icelandic Parliament building. It was built in 1881. That was during the reign of Christian IX of Denmark. Facing the building is a statue of John Sigurðsson, a leader of the independence movement that re-established the Parliament in 1843 and then led to Home Rule in 1879. This morning, we're out for a walk in the Heathmore Nature Reserve. These lupin were brought from Alaska to help stabilize the soil. Now they're everywhere, crowding out native species. The landscape is rough and volcanic, but the flowers are really pretty. These sheep pens were built in the 1840s. Shepherds took shelter under this overhang. Sheep could be grazed here because of this freshwater spring. And more flowers. This one's carnivorous. You get extra points for a flower and a bug. Not far from the nature reserve is the presidential residence. It was built between 1761 and 66. It's been the official residence of the president since 1941. The president has quite a view of Reykjavik. We're looking for birds now. But we have to stop for Icelandic horses. After lunch, we're going whale watching. For hardy souls, this is the whale watching boat for you. We get a nice view of the Reykjavik skyline. And a nice view of Esjan, a mountain range across the fjord from Reykjavik. A few birds come out to see us. There's a white-beaked dolphin. But they don't hang around for very long. The minke whale is a little bit closer. The captain asks if we want to follow the puffins to Lundy. Sure, sounds great. Lundy means Puffin Island in Icelandic. They share their island with European herring gulls and northern fulmars. They nest in burrows above the shore. There are even some eiders here. With their clown makeup and their big orange feet, puffins are just lovable. Before you know it, it's time to head back, past the lighthouse and into the harbor. Dinner tonight is at Nálthul. We're entertained by a girls' choir. Then we tuck into a gourmet dinner. And dessert was the best part. It's our last chance to see the midnight sun. This morning we say goodbye to beautiful Reykjavik. We're at the airport. The journey is getting close to the end.